Welcome, babes. How are you, Amber?
I I am just like an allergy mess.
So, if you hear a sneeze during this conversation
I'm
and
sh
it's not editable, you know why.
Yes. Hopefully you can edit all the times I blow my nose. I'm great. I'm great.
Okay, so we have a lot of stuff that goes on work wise, right? And personal wise, where we're just not able to sync up and like read at the same time. And I pulled a book that I'm behind on this series that I like read every book every year that comes out, sometimes two books. And so
And it's a big series, right? There's
it's
like
a, yeah,
how
this one is
books?
number 60.
6. I was like, maybe I
Yeah.
could catch up, but I don't think so.
No, you read the first book though, and they're interconnected, but they're complete standalone. So you can read it at any time. That's a good point to say because it's a pretty daunting task. I think I jumped in on the series probably around 15, I think, was obsessed and went back and started the whole thing. And it's been years and years and years. And it's something that my mom and I always read. It's a love that we have. So obviously, I'm going to start with mine. And
Yeah.
then I was just going to say autumn because I was around my granddaughter all day yesterday.
You
And
you were
my
telling me your granddaughter?
granddaughter's, I was.
That's new.
Lack of sleep. And then Amber is going to go ahead and talk about the book. And basically, this is one of those series that we like to do where it's like convince me to read this book. That's kind of what this is going to be about. Welcome to Morally Gray Babes. We're your hosts, Jen and Amber, two unapologetic book addicts diving deep into the steamiest reads, hottest book boyfriends, and those spicy moments that make you blush.
Amber here, and we're not just here to talk plot twists and character arcs. We're breaking down everything from our favorite quotes to the spice levels that really bring the heat.
Expect a lot of laughs, a little cussing, and some seriously hot takes. Whether we're gushing over fictional men or dishing out the truth on what books deserve the hype, nothing is off limits.
So buckle up, Buttercup, and get ready for real, raw, and totally unfiltered book talk. Because we're the book besties you didn't know you needed.
So, the book that I am going to feature for you today is the In Death series, number 60, Bonded in Death by J.D. Robb, which is the pen name of Nora Roberts. She's a romance writer, but in this series, she writes under J.D. Robb just for this series. And it's a futuristic mystery. I'll put it like that. So this one was actually released in February, so I'm behind on the series. There's another one was just released that I'll have to add into my reading at some point, but it already has like 19,000 ratings and 1,500 reviews. It's obviously the New York Times #1 best-selling author
Crazy.
since, pardon?
19,000 reviews
She
already?
I mean, you figure this has been going since
I guess.
the
That's
80s
crazy. And
maybe?
it's
Like
like
I
in
don't remember the
February?
first.
That's crazy.
This is just since February. Yeah. So, and I'm saying this because that's kind of how popular her series is, but I don't want you to be like daunted by it. Just jump in and read whatever you want, right? Read whichever one you want. It's
I
fun to know the past, but you don't need to.
have one question because, like,
Yeah.
the one I read the first one with you and we covered
Yes.
it on the podcast.
Yes.
I think it was like Naked in Death. They're all in death.
Yeah. I think it was Naked in Death,
Okay,
but
good.
yes.
And so she's the detective. He's like this billionaire. They kind of have a relationship, but when like later in the books they get married.
Correct.
Okay, so do you have to know their relationship on book 6?
On book 60, you don't need to know the relationship. They like anytime you would need to know some information, it will cover like a very, very brief
Or okay.
thing. So basically, this author spins an epic tale of loyalty, treachery, murder, and the long shadow of war. So his passport read Giovanni Rossi, but decades ago during the Urban Wars, he was part of a small secret organization called the 12. Responding to an urgent summons from an old compatriot, he lands in New York City and eases into the waiting car and dies within minutes. Lieutenant Eve Dallas, our heroine and female main character, finds the Rossi case very frustrating. She has an elderly victim who's just arrived from Rome, a widow who knows nothing about why he left, and an as yet unidentified weapon, and zero results on facial recognition. But when she finds a connection to the urban wars of the 2020s, she thinks Somerset, which is that house manager person, fiercely loyal, if somewhat grouchy, man who'd rescued her husband from the Dublin streets, may know something from his stint as a medic in Europe back then. When Somerset learns of the crime, his shock and grief are clear because he's eventually reveals himself as one of those 12. It's not part of his past that he likes to revisit, but now he must, not only to assist Eve's investigation, but because cryptic message from the killer has boasted that others of the 12 have also died and will die. Somerset is one of those who remains alive, and the murderous mission is yet to be fully accomplished. It is so good. It is 359 pages. But as with a mystery, you kind of have to really listen if you're listening, or read to like not miss the little subtle things that are woven through the book to give you some ideas on what's going on and where it's going to go. As always, this one's interesting because it's going back in time, and it's about Somerset and these 12 and like what they did during that time of war. So it's really good. It's really good.
you like Rourke and you like that.
I do. And as much as I like the author and the characters and the books, I rated it a 4. So it's not a typical 5. The majority of her books, I think, are a 5. I know. I rated it a 4. I rated it a 4 because it wasn't something that I was like fully page turning, but like at the end, it's amazing.
So while you read this one, I read 2 books. I'm not going to tell you about one of them because I don't think that you will particularly like it. It has a trigger that you don't like.
Well, why don't you talk briefly about both? Just because the listeners might be interested and maybe not me.
So, okay.
Or not. It's totally up to you.
Well, the only reason is because I remember reading it and I remember loving it and telling you like I'm 70% into this one. And I said, but this is like one of the main triggers. And I like it. I don't like the trigger, but I like how she presented it. And then the author presented it. And then she also said because of that, she's donating to food banks, right? It was a food scarcity trigger. And it's a huge part of the story. So there's a food scarcity, but some of the proceeds of the book go to the local food bank. And I really thought that's
amazing.
But we're not going to talk about that book. I mean,
okay. Well, say the title in case somebody wants to read it.
I want to say it's The Traitor King by Leah Stone. I'll just give it a little brief. It's got a class system. So you have the elites, and then you have what they call the dregs, which is the really poor people, and the people who basically maintain and keep the city running, right? They're doing all the really poor but necessary jobs, right? They're cleaning the sewers, making sure this works and that works. They do everything. They also get highly taxed by the elite. The elite have all the magical powers, and they basically do nothing. And everybody has different magical powers. Now, every 5 years, there is a tournament where like the mountain gives back magical powers and to one person and one person's family line. So you have all these elites get to go there because they're all heirs, and they
pick one poor person basically to go.
No, they don't pick the poor
Oh, okay.
They go themselves because they want their family line to get.
Oh, I got it.
Powers.
I got it. Yes.
So everybody wants to get stronger. However, this girl is out scavenging for food, and in the middle of the night, because her family of like 12 kids, is like they're just hungry, right? So she goes scavenges for food, and then while she's in the alley in dumpster diving, basically, one of these heirs wants magical equality, I guess is the right way to say it. He gives her his right in the trials because he was been poisoned and he's dying. So he's dying. Last act, he gives her. So there's this whole
Wow.
thing where this magicless person ends up in the trials. And so when you go in the trials, you have to do two things. You have to bond to a magical weapon, like it chooses you based on who you are. And there's like a grading scale, right? The weakest weapon to like the most powerful. And then you, depending on what weapon you choose, all these wolves are watching you, and the wolves will fight to bond with you. So you get a wolf and you get a weapon to go into these trials along with your magic.
Yeah, yeah. That actually sounds really interesting.
It's really good. It's a chili pepper, right? There's like, it's mainly plot driven.
Yeah, same with the book, same with the in-depth book that I talked about. It's like maybe a 1.
I don't think you're gonna read it because of the trigger, but
Yeah.
because it's a huge part of the story and it's brought up over and over again throughout the
Yeah,
story.
that will bug me.
And so, but it's like a lot of different stories that you hear kind of mesh into one, but and you can you see how it's going to play out. Like there, to me, there was no plot twist. I was like, oh, I knew
Yeah.
what was happening, and I was still okay with it. So the book that I am going to talk to you about, it is book 1 in Hattie Jacks' new series, Budapest Bites. Book 1 is called Fangs for the Memories. And it makes me think of that song, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Memories, even if they weren't so. Okay.
Oh.
Let's just keep going. I'm gonna say this: a Hungarian werewolf mafia kingpin was not on like my 2025 bingo card, but
It wasn't?
no, it wasn't. I mean, none of those things were. But I'm gonna need to eliminate that thing now because I'm gonna butcher his name. Furnace just made the cut and then some. He is our male main character, and this book has no business being this good. And when I say this good, it's a good, fun read, but it doesn't take brain cells to follow the story.
It's an enjoyable read. That's what I call them.
Yeah, it's just a fun, your brain doesn't really have to like focus. Cool read. It's an interesting world that she creates. So there's growl purring through every chapter like a woman who's been claimed by a fictional alpha and now needs to reevaluate her entire to be read stack. Like Phoenix, the male main character, is Chef's Kiss. This man is the feral, morally gray dream we've all been manifesting. He's territorial, possessive, and the kind of mind growler that will short circuit your mundane mortal life and drop kick you straight into Budapest Bites. Grace is our female main character. You will root hard for her. She's funny, she's sassy, she's real. She's refreshingly not a freshly turned 22-year-old. And
isn't that nice?
It's nice. You add in her like ride or die friend groupies, like, and you got the perfect balance of heart, heat, and humor that make this book an instant comfort read. So for me, the spice in this book, I would say it's like, I feel like we're jaded because we read a lot of like reverse harem and Y2s and Omega verses. And we really should develop a scale. That should be a podcast. We develop a scale and we put certain books in those categories.
Yeah.
But for me, I would say this is like a 3. There's a human taking knots. I feel like that's all I need to say there. The tropes are it's a werewolf with a human. There's mafia boss. She's mind energy. Fate versus duty. It's got a Budapest backdrop. It's like a happy ever after that feels like a warm blanket and a punch in the gut in the best way. So let me tell you a little bit about this book. So it starts in a way that Jen loves with the wedding. Right?
We love books with weddings in it. I don't know why.
You're a wedding photographer at heart. So
Yeah.
So for me, like it's not make or break for me. Like it is what it is. But I knew you would love it because it starts off with a wedding. So this girl is married to this human man. Monsters have just revealed themselves about 10 years prior. So they know about monsters, but everybody's kind of like hum-ha, like not really knowing about monsters. So this portal, which they call the vault, gets open and evil beings come out. And so they keep it closed, but because some have come out, they warn the people like, okay, monsters are here, like we exist. They finally showed themselves to kind of protect the humans. Okay,
Yes.
we all
Which is super nice.
and thank you so much for your
Thank
service.
you. Thank you.
So she is getting ready to marry this man, and a lot of things she does in this like engagement piss me off, but that's okay because she puts everything's in his name. And before
Mm.
they get married, he wants to spend the first week with her out of the apartment and not living together. And then the like couple of days before the wedding, he cancels and tells her he's leaving her for his secretary.
Somebody's going to die.
Mhm.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So he leaves her for his secretary who is pregnant, and so she decides, like, F you, F this. Like, she has nothing to her name because, like, even her business was in his name. Like, all the money was in his name.
Wow.
She has none of her stuff except for what she packed for the honeymoon. And, like, so she's like, I'm going on this honeymoon to Budapest. And if, like, you figure out why he
Yes,
did a
yes, yes.
booking in the story. But she ends up going to Budapest. And while she's there, she gets drunk. She gets pickpocketed. She loses every single thing. All of her stuff is destroyed. Like all her clothes are destroyed. Her money's stolen. Like the money that her friends gave her to go is stolen because she had no money. Like, so she's sitting there getting drunk off her ass at this all inclusive hotel with nothing to her name, right? And that's where she meets. I call him Frederick in my mind, but it's not. It's like Furnitz, I guess.
You know what this sounds like? One of the books that we met where she goes to a wedding with the boyfriend and then he is mean to her and then the alpha is like, help her.
Yes,
That kind of reminds me of that one.
so in this book, he's werewolf. He's also in the mafia.
Ooh.
And that it comes.
Wait. This guy? The guy that she was
Guy.
gonna marry?
No, he's just like
Yeah.
Stonewall.
Stupid human.
So the guy that she meets in the bar is a werewolf, and he's part of the mafia. But I don't really understand how the mafia comes in because it was all more like pack dynamics than mafia. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but there's mafia, and then he's the werewolf alpha, and so he sees there. He realizes like, oh my god, there's like some kind of connection here. I feel like this is my mate. So he ends up buying the hotel that she's staying in.
I mean, why not?
Why not? To protect her. She's like, I have no money. I don't know how I'm going to pay for this. He's like, I got it covered. So he ends up buying the hotel and tells her like, there's ways for you to work this off. But it comes off.
I'm all okay.
But it's mainly he just wants to spend time with her. And so
he just wants that opportunity for up close and personal talk.
And so there are gargoyles, there are vampires, there's humans that are trying to like keep the monsters in line. You know, like there's dragons, there's an ogre, there's other things, but mainly it's a gargoyle, vampire, and werewolf in this book. They mention
very fun.
But that's where we're going. And so
that's fun. And there's multiple books in the series, or what's
the first one? So I don't know how many. It said the second one was going to be about his friend that's the vampire.
Yeah.
So I don't know where it's going. But
what did you rate the book?
I read it in less than 24 hours. It's a very quick read. It's very enjoyable. I wanted to see how it ends, even though you kind of knew, but it kind of had like a little plot twist. But I was like, oh, that's nice.
Keep you guessing. Keep you on your toes.
Yeah. I mean, Spice was 3-ish. The book, I don't know. Like, it was a good palate cleanser. So if it's a good palate cleanser, I would say it's a 4. If all the books that I read, I would say it's like a 3. But
okay, good.
Like,
that's really good detail.
If you need like something to just like be fun and enjoyable and take you into a different world where there's like this mafia kingpin werewolf who wants to take you, then yeah, it's a good read.
I love it. All right, folks. So definitely go grab one of those books. Go try it out. Let us know what you thought. Thanks for tuning in, babes. If you loved hanging out with us today, don't forget to check the show notes for all the juicy details and links.
You can also discover your next book of boyfriend with our epic quiz, which is linked in our show notes. And of course, follow us for more spicy reads, hot takes, and unfiltered fun. Until then, stay morally gray.